Good afternoon. Let's see if the audio is working good this way. Oops. Test, test. Nope, nothing. There we go. Okay. Well, I just had another update right before I got on here, so we'll see if that makes a difference in the bowling alley. It seems like when YouTube goes ahead and updates its app, and I don't have the operating system working with it or whatever, I don't know. It just doesn't. It starts that garbled sound, and I was listening to it last night. Of course, last night was an adventure. For those who were streaming, it was kind of like being in a roller coaster at Disney. For some unknown reason, they decided to knock the camera off the ledge twice. I set it out of the way of everybody. I had heard though that they did not like the idea of it being recorded or streamed, and I don't know if they took it out on that, but it got whacked twice. One, it got whacked and the guy caught it, and the next time the guy did it, it went on the ground. I was going like, guys, it's out of the way. They have a whole table counter stuff. I don't know what it is. But so that was an adventure. My phone still works and that. And I just recently had, just before about 20 minutes ago, had an operating system update. So we shall see if that works in the um, bowling alley. It seems like the issue comes on not so much this way coming through the front camera as it comes through, because I got my setup the same way, as coming through the back camera. Um, that's when we get in this, originally sound like garbled, but last night it was not garbled. Um, it was um, clear, but yet not clear. So maybe they've got some kind of a protection on it. I don't know. Um, we shall see. I don't know. I have so right now I got the latest version of the app. I have a brand new operating system. We will check on it Saturday to see if it works. So with that in mind, we'll see what happens. My week actually wasn't too bad. I did have it was ups and downs. Tuesday seniors was an absolute disaster. Um, I never found anything. I think until the last game, I was missing spares. I mean, if you want to cram everything together in one day, Tuesday seniors was it. I think I missed a couple 10 pins, a 7 pin maybe. I think I don't know, but it was not productive, and I didn't strike at all. But we'll get to that. The first thing though, I usually start with Saturdays because that's usually when my week begins as far as bowling. Last Saturday, I had the tournament at Carpentersville, and I will say probably one of my better tournaments in a couple of years. My best tournament of all was, I think, 3 years ago in Canton, Ohio, where I finished at zero, 1600 for 8 games at 200. So that's my best. I've never finished plus. I'm hoping this year I can finish plus. I almost had a chance on Saturday. Um, in practice, it was hard to say. I never really got anything going, never really had any ideas on balls. But once again, I've mentioned this before. I don't throw my solids in practice because I prepare the surfaces and I don't want to get them lane shined until I start bowling. So the day of, I'll throw it in practice beforehand. And usually the first ball I'll throw out, no matter what the pattern is, I'll throw out my Summit, the original one, the Summit Hybrid. And then from there, how that one goes, I'll maybe try the um, Phase 2 Pearl or any other kind of symmetrical pearl just to see how that goes. But usually I stick with solids in the beginning. And then If let's say the summit isn't really moving a whole lot, or if it's moving too much, then I'll definitely will try a pearl. But if I throw the summit and it doesn't come back a little bit, then I'll go to an asymmetrical solid and see if I can get that coming. If that doesn't, then that's fine. So and I know right now also Bowl TV has got the um, kids tour going on right now, so it's okay if you want to watch that too. Um, but I'll talk about the Carpentersville. My first game was a 216, which I was pretty happy about. The second game really was 100% my fault. I had a brain fart or whatever you want to call it, and I missed a 7-pin. First, I missed a 10-pin, and then I had a 7-pin, maybe a frame or so later, and I missed that. And then a couple frames later, I had a 2-pin, and I missed that. And then I think I had a 4-7, and I chopped that. So right then and there, it was like, okay, well, you just threw away that 216. So it was a 160, and I figured, well, we'll see what happens. The third game, however, I got my head together, and we had a 205, which I was pretty happy about. The next game after that was a 178, which I'll take a 178 anytime. That just means that I was picking up my spares and I didn't strike a whole lot. And if anything, maybe I had 1 strike or 2 strikes in that game. The fourth game was the great one. That was 234. I think I had like 5 in a row. Followed that one up by a 186, which I was completely happy with. At that point, I normally don't like to look at where I stand as far as ratings. I mean, it was a high scoring pattern. It's the 43-foot PBA 50 regional pattern that they put together. No name on it except for 43 feet PBA regional 50. And scores were high. So I looked just for the heck of it, not to see where I ranked. I wasn't last. I knew I wasn't last with the 234, 205, and 216, but that doesn't mean that I'm not near the bottom, and I was near the bottom. I think the top averages were maybe 240s or something like that. But I looked, and after my 186, after a 234, I says, well, let's just see exactly where I kind of was. I was minus 21. And what we got here? Oh, good. Oh, good morning, Steve. In case you didn't catch earlier, last night's stream was kind of a disaster. Apparently, the guys didn't really like the fact that I was streaming. I don't know. We've bowled like 26 weeks, and so my camera phone got knocked over twice. So that's why the Wednesday night is in 2 parts. I kind of looked at them and go, "Why?" And my team says, "Well, they were doing nothing but complaining about the camera." And I go, "Like, it's away from everything. It's on the ledge." But anyway, back to the tournament. So I looked for the heck of it, and I saw that I was minus 21. Now, I have never been, since Canton 3 years ago, minus 21 going into anything. I think that's the highest going into my last game. But in all fairness, Canton was 8 games. This was only 7 games. So I figured even with my disastrous 160 of missing, 4 single pins or 3 single pins and chopping, I still might have a chance to do something. And mind you, I was very happy. I was average at that point going into the 7th game. I was 196 and minus 21, which, once again, I'm ecstatic. Either way, no matter what happened, I was very pleased. The day was going well, even with the really crappy second game. Obviously, I took care of that issue. I started making my spares, and then I just had a brain fart. So I go into the 7th game thinking, okay, you're minus 21. Let's just see if you really don't blow this to get minus 100, which means I would probably blow like a 120, a 110. I don't want one of those. Please don't, I didn't ask Grandpa for help as I did in Canton. I'm going to do this one on my own. And I had 3 splits and a washout. Nothing I could do. I did have 2 7-10 splits on the course of the tournament. I think one was in the last game. The first split I think was a 4-6-7. Next one might have been a 2-10 or something like that, and then I had a 7-10, and then I had a 1-2-4-10 wash out. I threw it, and the head pin, of course, flew around the 10 pin. Now, if I would have been on string pins, I would have picked that up. Just as an aside, because I did that on the one tournament I had in string pins, and I had four, no, three, yeah, three, one, two, four tens, and I picked all of them up because as the head pin was flying around, the string knocked the 10 pin over. So there's a plus for string pins. So I ended up the block with 1335, which averaged 190, and I'm ecstatic. I would have liked to have been possibly plus. I'm hoping this year I can get plus. That's the closest I've been, and I'm okay with it. So I came back from the tournament, went straight to league, uh, and now the previous tournament I was in Crawfordsville, and I missed the first game. This time I had plenty of time, so I opened up my Saturday with a 230. I figured, okay, this is pretty cool. I just came off a halfway decent block, feeling good about myself, and then uh, disasters started happening. I had some splits. The lanes kind of went away. I'm not going to blame the lanes, but I shot a 160, and I go, boy, I think I've done that earlier today. And then my last game was a 181, which ended up with a 574. So I'll take it. The 230 certainly helped. Um, my one teammate, Mike McFarland, had a 299, and he did bury his last one, and he's a left-hander, so he had a ring in four. That four flew around, so he was disappointed he didn't get the 300, but he said that was probably the best shot for a 300 he's ever had without getting a 300. Best shot he's ever had. He was very happy with that. I thought it might have been a little out far, but when I look back at the clips, it really wasn't that big. He was pretty much in the same. So it might have been a speed issue. Don't know. But he had another 299. I think he said he's got about five of those. Sunday challenge was actually good. We are on Scorpion, and I've had two 500 series on Scorpion. Ball choice has a lot to do with it. Oh, here's a little thing on the tournament. It was a wonderful cross. I had Anthony Jovanovich, myself, Michael Haggett, who's just a wonderful person, and Tom Doherty. Now, I've run across Tom Doherty last year when he joined the 50. He was in the World Series. He was a couple others, and I've said hello to him, and he was polite. He'd look and did not very talkative. I don't take that personally. I don't know the person, you know. Never rude, never ignoring, never anything like that. Just kind of to himself. So I saw that I was going to be crossing with him, and I just didn't know what to expect. Well, um, I want to say that he is really just a super person to cross with. He's not talkative. He's very, very focused on himself. He doesn't talk to anybody. Once in a while, you know, he had a couple of good games. I says, hey, great game. I didn't stick my hand out because when I don't know somebody, like I know Brad Angelo, I will never stick my hand out for Brad Angelo. Brad Angelo's very focused on himself. He's not rude. When I've had a couple of good shots, Brad's turned around and said, hey, Gene, great shot. So that's not a negative on Brad. It's just that you know people, you get to know people, and some don't like the league give me five unless it's something really significant, like I'm picking up a 710 or something like that. But I did not stick my hand out for Tom. I will say one thing: that guy can crush pins. Oh my gosh, uh, very very good. As a matter of fact, he won the tournament. Um, anyway, on my 156 game, um, I had 126 going into the 10th frame, and I figured, you know, this is getting close to going past the one minus 100, and I really don't want to go there with a minus 21 going in. So I figured, what the heck? The only ball I really didn't use, except in the beginning, and it wasn't working that well, was my Theorem Pearl, the one from 2024. And I'll have a little note about that one too. Um, so I figured I've got nothing to lose. I have 126 going into the 10th frame. I'm figuring that out. Okay, that's 74. That's 97. You know, if I completely blow the 10th frame, I still might have a chance to be under 100. I pick up the ball. I throw the doggone thing. I buried it. Got up there, threw my second ball. I buried it. Got up there, threw my third ball. I buried it. I turkeyed out. And on my way back, Tom was really focused on himself. I kind of looked at Tom and I said to him, I says, "You think I could have made the ball change earlier?" And he gave me a smile. He goes like, I don't know, you know." He was just, but really a super guy. I'm very very nice person. Um, the Theorem Pro, and then I'll get back to Sunday Challenge. Buddy's Pro Shop. Every once in a while, I'll go look up on Buddy's to see what kind of sales he's got. Now, I throw 16 pounds. So when he liquidates 16 pounds, it's usually about 70 bucks, $79, $69. I looked this morning and he had the Theorem Pearl up there for $79.99. I bought one just to have another one. That ball has done wonders for me in league as well as in tournament. When I first got it, it came out in 2024. When I first came out, I tried it and it didn't impress me. Now, I'll be honest with you. I am throwing so different now than I was when it came out in 2024. There's no question about it. Working with Eugene, having grips put in instead of without grips. I've been working the past couple days on staying down rather than popping up. Um, I want to say that I am probably 300% better than I was 2 years ago. Just the overall, my ball release, the revs I'm getting off of it, everything. And so I decided to try that one. I think it was probably about a month ago in league, and it brought me a 714 and a 733. I like that ball. I've always brought the Theorem itself, the original Theorem hybrid, to tournaments, but I'm sold on it. Oh, Michigan City. Oh, yeah, Michigan City. I am looking at that because I can do. And what else? And say, oh yeah, okay. I'm signed up for St. Joe's for Billy Froberg's. That's Olympic Lanes in Michigan City. Now here's the deal. I'm doing the Dave Small Anderson national tour on 616 to 619. That's assuming I don't, qualify. Then I can go from Anderson, come home, and go straight out to Michigan City on the 620 to 621. Okay, 620 being practice 621. And then I leave there, and I'll go then to 622 on the South Shore, which is 20 minutes, half hour away from where I live. So I'll be basically doing Dave Small and Anderson. I haven't signed up for it yet, but I probably am. I'm Dave Small from 616 to 619. Then South Shore, then Michigan City from 620 to 621. Then from 622 to 624 is the South Shore. And then Billy Froberg's from 626 to 628. And then I'll have a day or so, and then I'll go into the PBA 60 into Ohio. From there, I'll be doing the Akron class. That PBA 60. If I just don't get out of the PTQ, then I'll just have one day. If I get out of the PTQ, then I'll be there from the 1st to the 5th. I'm keeping my motel reservations from the 1st to the 5th, hoping that might be a good luck charm. From the PBA 60, from the 1st to the 5th, if I qualify, or if I get out of PTQ. Then the 710, the 713 in Akron. Now there was another one between that, but I would have to rent a motel because it's about 7 hours away from Ohio to there. To rent a motel for like 2 days to just sit around and do nothing. Or I could go watch qualification, but still sitting around after the stepladder final is there. I decided to take a pass on that. So I will be my schedule is going to be from 424 to 425. I'm going to be in Ripon, Wisconsin. From the 430. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the 7-1 to 7-5 PBA 60 World Series. There's no PTQ. My mistake. The Ripon from 424 to 425. From 430 to 5-1 is the World Series of the PBA 50. That's the one that's a PTQ. So I could be anywhere from 430, not qualify on May 1st and come home. Or if I do qualify, then I'll be going on. From there, from the 5-1, uh, go to Dave Small, from Dave Small Anderson to Olympic Lane in Michigan City, which I'll probably register sometime this weekend. And then from there to South Shore, from there Billy Froberg, then to Ohio for PBA 60 World Series. Then, since I'm in Ohio, I'll come back home, but then a Akron Classic because I want to go to those lanes because they're phenomenally known, the AMF, ones. And then I didn't said I wasn't going to do it last year, but I'll end up the season with Bud Moore from 716 to 720. And then I'm going to see if I can get in touch with Tony Lanning and see if he can put me on C Squad. C Squad finishes early, in the afternoon. Let's see. Non-champions at Pro Bowl also on schedule June 5th. I'll be at that one. Okay, I'll see about that. What's that, June 5th? What am I doing June 5th? Oh, maybe. Okay. I'll just see. I'm going to see if I can get in touch with Tony Lanning as it draws nearer and just kind of say to him, can you put me on Squad C? That way I'm on second day, I'll be, or third day, I'll be on the first squad. So it'll be from 9 until, let's say, 12 or 1 o'clock. And then they'll give me the 12 hours to get home somewhere around midnight or so. Versus last year when I got at 4 o'clock, and I hit rush hour and construction, and I got home, leaving at 4 o'clock at Ohio and getting home at 7:30 in the morning. It was a 17-hour drive. So I'm going to see. I talked to Toby about that, and he says just contact Tony, and I'm going to try and see if he can do that favor for me. We shall see. Okay, I'll look at that one. The non-champions schedule a Pro Bowl. Okay, I'll take a look at that one too. So that's my schedule so far. I immediately signed up for Billy Froberg on that, and like I said, I've thought about Olympia Lane, but Michigan City is only about an hour away from me, so that's not too bad. I think Dave Anderson, I think, is about 3 hours away from me, and 3 or 4 hours away from me. So I'll be getting home on the 19th, maybe late, and then I think practice on the 20th is like maybe about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that gives me time to sleep, and then I'll come home and of course drive because Michigan City is only about an hour away. So that's my schedule tentatively so far that I've at least registered for. Okay, back to the challenge shot. Let's see what we got. Yeah, the Village is in Florida. I'm gonna be in Florida, but that's the time that my oldest son takes me to Disney for my birthday, and we'll be there from the 13th to the 17th, and I'll pass up the Villages for that. And then the next one after that, I think, is the World Series, isn't it? I think that is. Is it? Let's see. Oh, Ripon, and then the World Series. So on Sunday, the challenge shot, we're on Scorpion, and I was very pleased. Last week, I think I did a 5:15, and this week I did a 5:34, which I was very happy for. Maybe missed a 10 pin. Maybe. My spare making was very good that day. I did a little talking to myself on how not to be as bad as I was. Unfortunately, I didn't listen to myself at the Tuesday Senior. But thinking about my 160 game at the tournament. I had a 177 the second game, and then I think, a 180? Yeah, 180 the third game. I was working on something. One of the nice things I like about being on tour and going to as many tournaments as I do is that when you get to know the guys, they're kind of they're getting to know you, and they're getting to know your personality. And a lot of the guys you may think might be standoffish or something, they just don't know you, and they're the typical human nature of things is that you really don't want to offend anybody. And if they don't know you, they're really not going to. Well, by now, I think this is my 6th year on tour. They kind of know me, and they know my attitude, and they know my tendency to be just happy-go-lucky because I'm just thrilled to be doing this. My scores will reflect what I did, and that's it. I get a 710, like I said before. Like last night, I got a 710. I said, you know what? I've been having problems with the left side. I went ahead and shot a 7 pin and I picked it up. Followed that up with a 4-7 and I picked up the 7 pin, but I left the 4 pin. So I was good on my 7 pin. So I took care of that later on, though. Um, but I've had a number of guys, and it all kind of began about 4 years ago in practice, the day before practice. And Mitch Beasley was watching me. He was bowling, but he was practicing, but watching me. And then he came up in his deep tone. And he says, "How long have you been a three-step bowler?" And I says, "Oh, about 50 years." And he actually took me out on the lanes and gave me about a 10-minute lesson on how I can do it. He says, "Now, don't do this now, but work on it." Well, the last year at the World Series, I crossed with him again. And after it was all, he says, "Remind me to talk to you after we're done." I figured, oh shit, what did I do? Did I jump on him? Or did I do something? Anyway, he came over and he said to me, he says, "Are you married?" And I go, "Yes." And I go, "What the hell's he? Where's he going at?" And he says, "Well, I tell you what." And he says, "Give your wife a yardstick, and every time you pop up when you go, she's to hit you." And I go, "Well, that's not a bad idea, except for she'll start hitting me no matter what." So he laughed. He says, "When you're shooting good, you're not lifting up on the shot. You're not lifting your whole body of the shot. Every time you lift up on the body of your whole shot, you're pulling it. You're going off to the left and you're missing. And whether it be missing a strike or missing a spare." Now, I still kind of do that a little bit on my spares, because my spares, it's just a work in progress. Okay. So on Tuesday, I I wanted to work on that, and my scores were not that good. Like I said, 143, 146, and 180. Um, I was working on staying down. Now, this is a whole different timing for me. It's a whole different, what do I do as far as my trailing leg? I'm not lifting up as much as I did. I still lift up a little bit, but because you're not going to be, going down into the ground. But I spent all 3 days, and I told my one, we got bombed on Tuesday. I might as well talk about it now. Uh, Three of the four guys, I think one guy's a 180 something average, but the rest of the guys are the 160s, 170s. And those three guys each bowled 650s, scratch. And the other guy, who had like a 180 something average, bowled a 628. I mean, we got blown away. It was no question at all. It wasn't even a challenge. So that wasn't the reason why, but I do know that I I wanted to work on something. And so the working on was now how to get familiar and comfortable with trying to stay down as long as I can. That means letting the arms swing a little bit different, not going into the whole shoulder and the whole body lifting up. It's a major change for me. But I'm always willing to give it a shot and try things. I never have a fear of, not trying things. Um, so I did, and I absolutely sucked. But um, one of my guys on the team sits there and goes, "Why are you changing? You've been shooting 650, 670, 700s." I go, "Yeah, but not at tournaments." I said, I want to get better at tournaments, and I'm having a number of guys. And James Kraft from Anchorage, Alaska, also said to me, he says, "Gene, what are you, the Statue of Liberty?" All in good jest. I mean, they were not mean or anything like that. They know me now, so they can come right out and say something, and that's fine. I love it. So I'm working on that right now. So Tuesday was the first time I tried it to stay down, and it was terrible. I'd fly the ball off to the right, and I'd get a washout or something like that. And I'm trying, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So that was one of the reasons why Tuesday was really bad. We'll get back to the schedule, but last night, for most of it, I was trying to stay down. Sometimes I come up, but I was not the big up where I was constantly doing that to try and get under the ball and get something under the ball. I was staying down. Um, it Last night was really, really good. Um, One of the things I did, when I talk about last night, besides the camera flying all over the place, I tried to stay down the whole time, and I had to start. It's starting to get into my muscle memory. which isn't too bad. Since I've got 2 days off, I may lose that muscle memory. So who knows? I'll be 71 next month, so a lot can be lost in that time. So let's go to Sunday challenge. Was really good. 534. I was very very happy about that. Made good ball changes. Um, and I've introduced the Equinox Solid into my bag right now. That's complementing the um, Equinox Pearl that I've been throwing. I threw that actually at the tournament. It did okay, but it was not the ball that was doing the most. I eventually went back to some solids. It might have been the Equinox Solid. Yes, it was. I'd have to get my notes, but I don't remember. I started with the Equinox Pearl, didn't like the way it was doing. So I went to Equinox Solid. That's where I got the 216. I also got the 160 on that. But once again, I told you that my missing the easy makeable spares cost that game. That should have been a 160 plus add 44 to 204. So that was not the Equinox Solid's fault. So on Sunday challenge, the Sunday mixed, um, I want to say that I kind of let the emotions get to me a little bit. Um, I'm not going to use that as a full excuse, but I will also say that my concentration was not fully there, especially since the first ball on the night of Sunday evening, I missed a 7-pin. Uh, we're coming near the end of the season, and um, that means that you're finding out how much money you owe or don't owe, how much you're behind or you're not behind or ahead. You are. And I had two people on my team, and I'm not complaining about it, but started to complain about what the envelope said. And I tried to explain to them because they were getting down. I paid this and I shouldn't do this. And I go like, I'm not the one doing this. I'm just telling you what the envelope is saying. Well, it's wrong. I go, then go talk to the one person. Well, they went to three other people before they went to the person I told them to talk to. They finally talked to the one person. That person came over, showed them on their phone a spreadsheet that, yes, you still owe. No, I paid this much. And that got to me. The same thing happened on Tuesday, too. Two guys, one guy basically was saying that he was paid up and the envelope said it wasn't. And that's why I didn't, one of the other reasons why I didn't do good on Tuesday. Anyway, my first game on Sunday evening was 139. I just absolutely sucked. And then I finally said, okay, Gene, just calm down. Even in the third game, the guy was still objecting. But I at that point in time, the envelope was paid. I don't see how the envelope can be wrong because you put your money in, I count it, you write it, and you write the total. You write the total on a sign-in sheet. They count it, they verify the total's correct, and what could go wrong? It's checked and double checked and triple checked. So that's all I was saying. Anyway, my 139 was terrible. I did follow up with a 191 and a 185. So I kind of got composed. It was a 515, not that great, but I did compose myself. I don't normally get upset, but I just, all I kept on saying was, the envelope is just telling me I'm not making any judgment at all. So much for that night. You thought it was going to be 51? Yeah. Is it my hair? Thanks, Steve. No, 71, my friend. 71. And still lucky to be doing this. So Sunday it went at 5:15. On Monday we got envelope issues in the fact that a lot of guys are behind schedule. We are about, I don't know, $500 or $600 down. One guy paid another bit. One other guy did not pay, but yet bought $30 worth of tickets. Last week, put $30 in and bought $100 worth of tickets. I sent him an email, a text message, and basically say, guys, they're going to start taking away points. They're being very, very generous to us. And right now we're in first place. I don't want to lose points because this league is very top heavy as far as money is concerned. Last year, a team that I knew that came over from Oak Forest, because Oak Forest burnt down, they finished like third from last, and each guy got $100. The last place team, each guy got $75. And the top guys, we finished third, and we each got like $750. So it's very top heavy. And I told the guys, this, we start losing points, we're going straight to the bottom, and I will not tolerate, um, getting $50 for putting in $900 for the season. That doesn't work for me. I had a league that I was on a couple of years ago that I with 35 weeks. It was a mixed league. You paid that, and we finished about fourth, and I got $175. And I politely told my son I'm not returning, and I just said I didn't say it was because of that, but I just basically said no, I got other offers, which was true. Um, it was a Friday night, and I don't like to bowl on Friday nights. Um, because I'm bowling, 6 leagues, and I'll sub on Thursday, but Friday I don't sub tonight, which is good. I didn't sub that much this year. I think maybe 4 games. It gives me 2 days to recoup and have my body get back together. And at 71, not 51, but at 71, the body needs a little rest. I had after the that was another thing at the tournament. Um, Not this one, but the Crawfordsville one. I mean, yeah, I fell in my third game. I stuck and I fell. My hands went into the oil, and I found out later that I banged up my knee a little bit. So I've been dealing with a little bit of knee issues, but they're not swollen, but it's kind of sore. So a couple nights this week, I wore my knee support. The past 2 nights, my Tuesday and last night, I did not wear it, and I did not have to wear it. So um, when I take a shower, I put very, very hot water on it for at least about 5 minutes, just standing to let it beat on it. So I think hopefully we might be okay, because I do not want to have to go into the tournament season with a bad knee. So Sunday mix was 515 with a 139 the first game. On Monday, I wanted to focus a little bit about staying down, but I did not commit to it. I did it in practice, and it felt really awkward. So I says, I'm going to go with what I've got. And that's, once again, just not lifting up as bad as I was last year, but still, if you watch the video, I am lifting up on there. It's a thing that I did 50, 60 years ago, and it's just something that stuck with me. I have made the move from 3 steps to 5 steps in the past 3 years. And now I'm working on that. So, but Monday, what did I start with? I think I started with I want to say I might have started with the Equinox Pearl, but that was too wet dry. So whenever I encounter a wet dry, I immediately go to a solid, whether it be asymmetrical or symmetrical. And I think I may have gone to the Equinox solid. Either way, I should write these down, but I don't. First game was a 223. The second game was a 196, and the third game was a 203. So that was a 622. Very, very good night. We took 24 out of 30 points, and that put us in first place. So, and my anchor guy he shot a 675. Our anchor James Washington, he shot a 675. He just texted, I guess, last night or the night before. He just shot his first 300. So, no, I haven't. I haven't drilled my bionic yet. I'm actually, I think I also have, what do I got coming in? I have 2 more balls coming in. Oh, that Theorem Pearl. If I didn't mention it before, I did buy it from Buddies. It's $79, so I got that coming in. That's going straight to shelf. I am going to drill the bionic. I've got to take care of some other bills first before I do that. And there's another one I also want to drill. What was it? Oh, I have coming that new effect, and I know I'm thinking about drilling that one up. And there's one other one. I want to drill 3 more balls up before I start the tournament season. I may do 4, but bionic is definitely one of them. I've had that concept, and I've yet to find a condition that it does anything good for. Not knocking the ball. I talked to Lyle Cullman, And I asked him how he had it, and he says it is phenomenal. And he's got a lot more reps than I do. And I was watching him throw it at the tournament, and he was doing quite well with it. The guy who James Washington was on my league, who shot the 670, 678, I think it was, on Monday night. He threw the whole night with the concept. And it just, when it hits hard. I've tried to throw it a couple times and I haven't. I did drill up the Evil Eye, and on Saturday night I tried it and I couldn't keep it on the lanes. I brought it to Monday and no Sunday, and it stayed on the lanes. So I threw it for a little while, but then I got out of that and I went to the Equinox Solid. So I will be drilling the Bionic. Let's see what else. Yeah, the concept. Yeah, the concept. It's hasn't. I haven't come across the conditions where it's doing me any good. But yet I've got to throw it a little bit to understand. For me, what it does is it doesn't move. Which is not supposed to, but I'm expecting something like the Level or the Rattler NU. I know if I throw the New Blue or anything pure urethane, it's not moving a whole lot, and I've got to get on the outside. I am seeing a lot of movement on the concept from everybody, and I'm not getting it to do anything. So for me, maybe the conditions aren't right. I stopped off at Tuesday on the Sport League there, and I talked to a guy named Daniel Dew, who I know very well, and he actually has bowled PBA tournaments before. He had it, and he asked me, he said, I just got it drilled, I haven't thrown it yet. And I said, well, realize that the conditions have to be good for it. Well, he threw it twice, and he put it back away. He says the conditions are not there. So he's another guy and he's a lot better bowler than I am. So I did bring it, and I will bring it to a tournament along with the NU20 and the Level, and those are my 3 urethane type balls. I'm not buying the Purple Hammer 78. I'm done with buying urethane. I have enough urethane. I have the Black Pearl. I have the Storm IQ 78U, and that is my 2 urethane balls. I did not buy the Crown 78. I do have the Blue NU. I have the Rattler NU. I have the NU 2.0, and I have the Level. And the concept now. If I can't do anything with those balls, I will probably have a better picture of that when, if I get into the PTQ for the World Series, I'll be throwing that on the Del Ballard to see what it does. I don't know about the PTQ. They set a maximum field of 120. The last year, 112 guys entered. Maybe there's going to be more, especially now if the Villages is sold out. Maybe some people are going to make the trek from Florida to Minnesota. I don't know. But if I don't, I don't. If I do, that's great. If I don't, well, at least I've bowled in it 3 times, which the first 3 years of its conception. So I'm very happy on that. Maybe I will do it. Maybe I'll bowl good. Maybe I'll get in. I don't know. Being the fact that I never qualified before, I don't know whether or not I'll get into a PTQ. But if they got 120 positions and only 112 sign up, then maybe, because right now, last time I looked, I think there was 58 people that have signed up. I haven't looked since. That was about a week ago. So, we shall see. If more than 120 sign up and I don't make it, I don't make it. Like I said, I've been around for the first 3. It's a wonderful experience. If I get in, that's great. If I don't, I don't. I do have the motel book for the full time though. So my Monday was good. 223, 196, 203. I went into Tuesday, and like I said, Tuesday was a commitment, especially when these guys. I mean, these guys with 170s and 160 averages have got the front 6, all 3 of them. And I'm going like, okay, well, let's work on this. So I worked on staying down. I will not say that I did a very good job of it, because I was kind of throwing the ball all over the place. My timing was off a little bit. My trajectory off my hand was a little bit off. But I committed to it. And my last game was a 180. So maybe I was starting to get the hang of it. Who knows? On Wednesday, last night, I committed to it 100%. There was no way I was not. I know we already are in the playoffs because we have won the first quarter or first third or whatever. But we still want to win, and I still want to win. I don't do this to just say, okay, I'm going to throw away the evening. I'm trying, but I'm also trying to improve myself. The Tuesday league, it's non-sanctioned, so whatever happens, I mean, I could have a 300 average and it won't make a difference because it's non-sanctioned. So I'm sitting at, I think, 195 right now in that one. Um, so Wednesday, I committed to it. Uh, my first game was a 214. My second game was a 225. My last was a 199. So I shot a 638 at a very, very difficult house. It's Centennial. So I am utterly ecstatic. I made it back up to, I'm up to 190 now as far as the average is concerned. So I'm very happy about that. Um, but the key was is that I stayed down. Now I watched a little bit of the video and I still come up a little bit, but the ball is already out of my hand and I'm coming up. So it's not the body throwing the ball. I felt my arm going. And I did throw one in the first game out to the left and it came back and of course hit the pocket, but it left a 10 pin. And I did pick up all my 10 pins. I did miss a 4 pin. I missed a 4 pin and I had a 4-7 and I chopped the 7 off of there. So I missed 2 4 pins in a way. But to be honest, that 4-7 that I chopped was a 4-6-7 split. So, I had an open anyhow. Um, I'm going to continue to try and stay down because if I can get this down, I will say one thing. By staying down, Mitch Beasley was 100% correct. My accuracy was unbelievable. I was standing on with my I always stand with my right edge of my right foot. That's where I judge from. I don't judge my left foot. I judge my right foot. And I was standing on 19 with my right foot. I was throwing over this 20, which is the second arrow, out to about 8 or 9. So it was not a big wallowing one, unless it came off my hand like in the first game and it went out to the one board and it was like, whoa. But it did come back, but the angle was wrong and I left the 10 pin, did pick up the 10 pin. What I'm dealing with now with the left side missing a lot is I'm trying to find a new target where I stand. And that is where I'm working with. I have one for the 10 pin. I have one for the 610. I tried to use my 610 one as my 10 pin when I missed a couple tens, and guess what? I threw it to the left on a 610 and I missed it. So I was like, okay, let's not play around that way. So I think I have a target going over the center arrow, and I tried that last night on my sevens, and I picked up all my sevens. I tried that on my 4 after I missed the 1-4, and that seemed to work. So I might have something, and we'll see if that works. But I did stay down as much as possible. And like I said, I was extremely accurate on hitting my arrow, mark at the arrows. I don't think, unless I let it fly off because I made a mistake, it also was causing me to follow through completely, rather than just trying to throw out on my side. Eugene has told me sometimes, he says, sometimes I throw out, not a chicken wing, but I throw up and out. Like Don Johnson, the old Don Johnson, he would go up and then he would go around. Of course, the ball is out of his hand while he does that. But Eugene had told me, he said, I have a tendency to fly out. So this way, I'm concentrating, and I am literally concentrating to try and come up close to my head as possible. The ideal position is that you're throwing underneath your chin. I don't know if I do that. I'll have to watch the video, but I am a little bit. When I did that, by golly, I was hitting my mark. And I was not missing by more than one board. And the scores showed I struck a lot. I did have a 7-9, and that which was kind of interesting. But I was in the pocket and I was crushing it. So on Saturday, I'm going to do the same darn thing. I'm just going to focus on, and I'm finding that my body is responding by the way of swinging my right leg out to the left, behind me. So there's some unconscious stuff that I don't have to think about what to do. So the body is naturally responding to it. So we'll see. And my arm swing is freer. And like I said, most incredibly was the accuracy. So Mitch was 100% correct. I doubt if he'll ever watch my channel, but if he ever does, thank you, Mitch Beasley, again. 1, for getting me the 5-step, and 2, to try and stay down. The advice is greatly appreciated. Like I said, I doubt if he'll ever watch. But so all in all, the week ended up, other than the fact that my camera got knocked down twice, by some people who just didn't like me filming. Um, and it was accidents, but it was kind of like, you know, they didn't care much for it. But like I said, this is not the first week I've done this. This is what the 26th week of me doing this, so it's not anything normal. And a couple of guys have gotten their first 300s, and guess what? It's on video. They can go back and show their relatives and tell their friends. So you know that's the way it goes. So all in all, I'm pleased with the tournament. Best tournament I've had in 3 years. Minus 65, I'll take it, even though I was minus 21 going into the last game. The turkey and the 10th frame made it a reasonable minus 65 instead of minus 90 something. Tuesday staying down kind of got my mind to start thinking about staying down to try and get this into my subconscious. And then Wednesday was an example of me staying down, bowling a 638. Very, very pleased with that. We did our pair on both teams really did leave a lot of 10 pins last night, and then a good friend of mine, Jordan Elder, who I've actually bowled with on teams for about 8 or 9 years. But when Oak Forest burnt down, we're no longer bowling together on a team. He showed me because after the night was over, he says, "Come here, Gene, look." And I'll be darned. We didn't see it from looking straight on, but the 6 pin was closer to the 3 pin, and there was a large gap between the 3 pin and the 10 pin, and the 9 pin was off to the left a little bit of the 3 pin, but because the 3 pin was up more, it looked aligned. So when you're looking straight on, it did not look that bad. But when I looked from his perspective, our 10 pin was not anywhere close to the thing. That's why we were leaving tons of 10 pins. I haven't mentioned that to my team. I don't know if Scott, if you're watching, as I know he tends to watch a little bit. Jordan showed me, and after everything was over, and they had a full rack up there. By golly, I mean the gap between the 3 and the 6 and the 6 and the 10 was almost a pin and a half, and we didn't see that because the 9 pin was offset too, so everything was lined up. That's why we left so many 10 pins on that lane. On the what were we on last night? 29 and 30. On 30, the 10 pin was way offset. So that was one of the reasons why we left a lot of 10 pins. 7 pins, I have no idea. That's just kind of the way it is. So all in all, I had a good week. I'm not going to complain. Did it ever tell you to drop your chin down? Gives you a better release. I'm working on that. I will look into that. Maybe I could combine that with the staying down. I'm definitely, especially after last night, on a difficult pair. I am committed to trying doing that. I hate to try and do that at a tournament because I have enough problems with tournaments than I do with that. But Saturday again, I will focus on staying down. I do it very slowly in practice to try and get my body used to it doing it. And then when I start up and I start getting into it, I'm hoping that my body, this is what I want to do tonight. Mind you, I am not going to be like an Andrew Anderson or a Norm Duke or anybody who stayed. Even Bill, while he doesn't get down, stay down, I mean, he does not pop up. And so that's what I'm trying to avoid. I am going to come up. My back is not going to be able to stay down. It's not a good. It's almost a 71-year-old back with a lot of damage over the years. I do come up a little bit to try and take the stress off the back, but it's not my coming up that is throwing the ball, and that's what I'm working on, to have my arm go through, and then if it's already here and not come up, then it's already out of my hand. So it worked well on Wednesday. Tuesday I tried it. It did not work well, but that was the first time I was trying it. And most of my problems was that the ball would go flying off and almost into the gutter. And that lets me know that I wasn't staying down or whatever. It was not in sync. My timing was off, whatever. I'm saying whatever an awful lot, aren't I? Apologize for that, but I just caught myself saying whatever twice in like one sentence. So I am going to focus on that. I hope to get that in shape by April 24th, 25th, when I go up to Ripon. And I probably will do the Michigan City. Why not? It's only an hour, a little over an hour and a half away. It's not a big deal because it's fun. And I know one of those tournaments, I'm going to be facing the Dale Ballard. I'm not too sure which one it was, but I looked and I saw that. But I'm excited about the thing. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and if I add that, Michigan State, that's 9 going over the summer. So that's going to be fun. The ones that I'm going to miss, I'm not going out to Vegas. I'm not going out to Oklahoma. I'm not going out to the West Coast. It's a long drive for me, and even with my Tesla, it's still a long drive. And I just don't need it. Bud Moore's are going to be the longest drive I have, because that's still, even without the rush hour, that's still a 12-hour drive. But I like Bill. Bill and I have become, I would say, not close friends where we're texting each other. I do have his number if I ever text, but I don't bother the man. He's very, very busy, and he has mentioned the fact of all the things that he does. He's an extremely busy person. But when we're at the bowling alley, we chit chat an awful lot. So I will do that one more time. If I can get on the C squad, then I can get home in a reasonable time. And I will definitely send an email to Tony Lanning and just requesting that could he please ensure that I get on the C squad because of the distance I drive. So I'm looking forward to all the rest of them. South Shore, of course, because it's the closest. But the Dave Small in Anderson, Indiana, I'm looking forward to. And of course, Billy Froberg. So I would not miss that for the life of me unless I can't bowl anymore. So let's see. Oh, that's good. 25 and 45 minutes. That's good. We always want to, two things. We like to keep the drive low, and we also like to sleep in our own house. So those are two pluses. Not even counting the money you spend in a hotel. But I've actually chalked up enough points that a lot of them I'm spending points on. So all in all, like I said, the week was a good one. I had high points. I had low points. I had frustrating points with people and their dues and people not paying. But I was pleased. I'm hoping that I can continue to work on the staying down. That is one thing. It's going to be my main focus because I want to improve the best I can. And I want to try and make this year's tour a little better than last year. Last year was a great year. This year I started on Carpentersville with minus 300 and something down. That was not a very good tournament at all. Backed it up with this one being only 65 down. Kind of like took the sting off the Crawfordsville. And we will try and see if there's going to be some good ones, there's going to be some bad ones, but I'm hoping overall I at least know that I'm throwing it better and bowling better, no matter what the score is. So with that in mind, I see there's a few people still hanging on. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm looking forward to the tournament season. I'm looking forward to the end of the season. All the chances I get to keep on bowling while I still physically can. My knee was bothering me a little bit, I mentioned earlier. And yeah, so my back, it's very possible since I do have scoliosis. But the key is not to have my upward motion being part of my throwing of the ball, because that's when I am down and up, and that's part of the motion. I have somewhat, before I started staying down, tried to get the throw out and then myself coming up. And if you watch that, because I'm still trying to get under the ball and get some revs into it, now I'm trying to stay down as long as I can and let the body come out. And then eventually I'm going to see whether or not I can stay down and actually stick, just stay there. we shall see if I ever get to that point. I don't know if my body will allow me to do that, but all I can do is try. Um, so, other than that, like I was saying earlier, thank you for stopping by. Um, I'm hoping with this upgrade, I checked the audio on the front camera. Let's see. Yeah, okay. The front camera is working fine. Um, it's when I project through the other camera, which is the, the camera I have right now is the one that as if you'd be talking. The one that I do is the other side, and there seems to be some issue with that. Um, I just did an upgrade of the software and I reloaded up the camera. I mean the YouTube app. So we'll see on Saturday whether or not it worked. If it doesn't, there's nothing more I can do until the next update. Now I'll be honest with you. I am running. It's a developer in me, even though I don't write software anymore. I am running a beta version of iOS on my phone. I do that for a couple reasons. My wife, she'll always ask me afterwards when a new version comes out, should I upgrade or not? And I'll tell her either no, wait till the next update, or not. So I may be dealing with some beta issues of iOS. I don't know. But I do know that when uh, they issue a new YouTube app and I don't, uh, you know, delete it, or if I get a new iOS app and I don't delete the app and then redo it, I have these issues. And then they release a new app, the app gets installed under the other beta version of the operating system, I have issues. So the other one I haven't been able to fix with an update. So this time I got a new iOS update this morning and I re-downloaded the app. We will find out Saturday if it is there. It might also be a noise thing where it's also throwing filters on it. It's a filtering or a decoding issue, a codec issue of some kind. So it might be maybe noise eliminations going hog wild. I don't know, because you got the crashing of the pins. But it does work sometimes and it doesn't work sometimes. So I don't know. We'll keep on trying to see what's going on. So with that, thank you very much for stopping by. I look forward to the week. And if nobody whacks over my camera, we'll still have just one file for a night. Last night, there was 2 files. So appreciate you following me. Have a good week yourself. And if I see you at a tournament, please come up and say hello. I like to see what's going on. I am pleased to know that I know one of my regular followers on my streams is Tavan from Finland. So that's always exciting. I don't have the multitudinous amount of followers. I don't sit there and everything and say subscribe, because I don't want to push anybody on that. If you decide to subscribe, that's great. If you don't, I'm not worried about it. I don't have anywhere nearly enough to monetize, so I don't really care. I do it for my own study, and also there are a couple of people that watch that, like the one is a father of a guy that I bowl with on Monday, and he watches then. And once again, also some people that have bowled their first 300s actually have been captured. So if I've done that for them, I'm very, very pleased on there. So I've said so an awful lot of time instead of saying whatever. I'm repeating myself. Thank you very much once again. I really appreciate you spending your time with me. As by now you know that I love the sport of bowling, and I'm going to do it for as long as I physically can. And I do the tour because it is just absolutely thrilling, and I learn an awful lot. Without the tour, I would not be bowling halfway as good as I'm bowling today, both from the advice and 2, from the actual experience of it. So thank you once again, and have a great day. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye. Take care.